Welcome to Cannes, Caribbean Affiliate News. My name is Siobhan Gubin. Here are the stories that we're following today, September 12, 2013. In international news, Putin pens opinion piece for the New York Times. A Florida pastor arrested before he could burn 2,998 Qurans. Japan hangs a 73-year-old man, sixth execution of 2013. And Prince William leaves military service for royal duties. Details on these headlines and more when we return.
Hey, excuse me, if you see me smiling, that's 'cause I'm chilling on Total Caribbean Network. It's your boy Wyclef Jean, man, and I'm chillin', man. Total Caribbean Network. Man, I love their style. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Welcome back to Cannes, Caribbean Affiliate News. My name is Siobhan Gubin. The segment of the news is sponsored by Total Caribbean Network. Russian President Vladimir Putin is no fan of the idea of American exceptionalism. He suggests that God isn't either. And I quote, "It is extremely dangerous to encourage people to see themselves as exceptional, whatever the motivation," Putin wrote in an opinion piece posted Wednesday on the website of the New York Times. He goes on to say there are big countries and small countries, rich and poor, those with long democratic traditions and those still finding their way to democracy. Their policies differ too, he wrote. We are all different, but when we ask for the Lord's blessings, we must not forget that God created us equal. Putin's remarks concluded a plea to Americans for caution in dealing with Syria, a Russian ally. He cited President Barack Obama's speech Tuesday night in which he asserted that American ideals and principles are at stake in Syria as he made his case for holding the Assad government accountable for a deadly chemical weapons attack near Damascus. And I quote, "That's what makes America different," Obama said. "That's what makes us exceptional. With humility but with resolve, let us never lose sight of that essential truth." Law enforcement officers arrested a Florida pastor Wednesday as he drove to a park to light nearly 3,000 Qurans on fire to protest the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks. Sheriff's deputies arrested Pastor Terry Jones, 61, and his associate, Pastor Marvin Sapp Jr., 44, each on a felony charge of unlawful conveyance of fuel as they traveled in a pickup truck towing a large barbecue-style grill filled with Qurans soaked in kerosene. Jones has said he was heading to a nearby park to burn the Qurans, one for every victim of the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks. Sheriff's officials said yesterday night that Jones was also charged with unlawful open carry of a firearm, a misdemeanor, and that Sapp faces a charge of having no valid registration for the trailer. Both were being booked Wednesday night into a Polk County jail, according to Sheriff Grady Judd. Mulberry's mayor, along with area elected officials, a sheriff's deputy, and several Polk County residents have talked about the need to express love and tolerance for all faiths on September 11th. Jones is a pastor of a small evangelical Christian church. He first gained attention in 2010 when he planned to burn a Quran on the anniversary of 9/11, although he eventually called it off. His congregation did burn the Muslim holy book in March 2011, and last year he promoted an anti-Muslim film. All three incidents sparked violence in the Middle East and Afghanistan. The most violent protests happened after the 2011 Quran burnings, as hundreds of protesters stormed a UN compound in Mazar-e-Sharif in northern Afghanistan, killing 7 foreigners, including 4 Nepalese guards. Jones has repeatedly ignored pleas from the U.S. military asking him not to stage protests. Military officials say his actions put American and Western troops in Afghanistan and elsewhere in danger. Mulberry is a town of about 3,000 between Orlando and Tampa and has no connection to Jones's church, which recently moved out of its Gainesville building. An Egyptian court convicted Jones, along with 7 Egyptian Coptic Christians, in absentia, sentencing them to death on charges linked to the film. The ruling was seen as largely symbolic because Jones and the other defendants live outside of Egypt. Just last week, a federal judge in Michigan issued a summary judgment in favor of Jones and his organization, Stand Up America Now, against the city of Dearborn for requiring Jones and his organization to sign a city-issued agreement in order to speak on public property in front of a Dearborn mosque in 2012. Earlier Wednesday, about 75 people gathered in Mulberry for an interfaith press service to counter Jones's actions. In Japan today, they hanged a 73-year-old man convicted of murder and robbery, the country's 6th execution of the year. The Justice Ministry said the hanging was carried out in Tokyo. The man had shot to death a restaurant owner in 2004, stealing his bag containing $4,000 in cash. Japan executed 3 inmates in February and 2 in April. There are 132 inmates currently on death row. All executions in the country are done by hanging. Human rights groups have widely criticized Japan for continuing capital punishment, but polls show the public supports the system. Japan's government releases few details about executions, and inmates are not informed of their pending execution until immediately before it is carried out. Prince William has finished his tour of duty as a Royal Air Force search and rescue helicopter pilot and has left operational service with the British military to focus on royal duties and charity work, royal officials said today. William's Kensington Palace office said that the second in line to the British throne completed his final shift earlier this week. It said he will now focus on royal duties and is considering a number of options for public service. The palace said William, 31, would expand his work in the field of conservation, particularly in respect of endangered species, and would work on charities that help children and veterans. William has spent more than 7 years in the military, first in the Army and then as a Royal Air Force pilot stationed on the quiet island of Anglesey in North Wales. He was able to blend in with the residents and fellow military personnel, enjoying a degree of privacy despite his royal status. In July, his wife Kate gave birth to the couple's first child, Prince George. Now that William's active military career is finished, the family will move into refurbished quarters at Kensington Palace in London. They have been living in a rented home in Anglesey. William started as an officer cadet at Sandhurst Military Academy in 2006. He started search and rescue helicopter training 3 years later. The palace said he had participated in 156 search and rescue operations, helping to rescue 149 people. He has completed more than 1,300 flying hours. William's younger brother, Prince Harry, remains active in the military and has served in Afghanistan as an Apache helicopter pilot. You're watching Caribbean Affiliate News. We will be right back.